Okay, people, I've been up to quite a bit in between episodes, and I want to show you guys all of those things because, you know, that's kind of the point of the channel. By the way, so you may notice that little speck flying by my head. This would be the Eldrich Orb. The recipe for it is a Mana Crystal Fragment, an End Crystal, the most expensive part, Rune of Arcane, and a Rune of Defense, and it has some charge, and what it does is that, say if I were to punch this cow with the Eldritch Orb on, that would help. You can see it now blast the cow. That's pretty much what it does. It can be enchanted, actually, which is the next thing I'm going to be showing you guys how to enchant it. I believe the Eldritch Orb is under Artifice. Yeah, here it is. It can be enchanted with Bane of Arthropods, Flame, Knockback, Multi-Shot, Quick Charge, Smite, and all of those things would allow it to have various effects. Bane of Arthropods and Smite do the same things that they do on normal enchantments, as well as Flame, Knockback. But Multi-Shot just makes it so that the orb targets multiple things, and Quick Charge just makes it so it's a little bit faster. So I currently have it charged up with Quick Charge 1, and I actually have created a Knockback enchantment using the rune forging stuff. Sorry, the recipes. So I have created this, and I'm actually going to show you guys how to enchant stuff using the Runic Anvil. So one of the selling points of the mod is that, oh my gosh, you have all these special enchantments that you can use to enchant stuff, which, you know, it is a pretty big deal. And with that, I'm going to show you guys how to enchant this Eldritch Orb so then it is more powerful. Unfortunately, you can't just toss it into the enchantment table because it's a magical item, and I guess you can't just stuff more magic into a magical item unless you use special means. So the way that you enchant this stuff is that you take your rune forged patterns. So, for example, I can only use a knockback 1 thing on it, and then you put it on top of the item you want to enchant. If I had my sword, just where's something that I can enchant? Yeah, let's say I have this gold sword here. I also could put this thing, I could put this on top of it, and I could enchant that as well. The problem being I don't want to enchant this useless golden sword, but I want to enchant the Eldritch Orb. So I'm going to grab my chisel, set this up, and then you just hammer it on. It's not a complicated process, but, you know, it's kind of annoying. So we now have a knockback 1, quick charge, orb. So now it will be slightly better at knocking things backwards. And that's pretty much what the Eldritch Orb does. It's just a little helpful thing, and it will drain a bit of mana, so I did create a minor mana gem crafted like so. And I did also make another enchantment. As you can see, the top enchantment up there is called Beheading 2. That is 2 out of 5. If we go into the book here, we've got Beheading. We currently have access to Beheading 1 and Beheading 2. And when you get up to tier 5, you can access Beheading 5. And what these things does is it makes it so that mobs will drop their head more often, which is how I've gotten 6 Wither Skeleton Skulls. However, I'm kind of holding back because I've also got 3 more in here. That's just, it's just a useful enchantment to have, especially considering that later on in the mod, it will ask you to have an additional Nether Star for like half of the recipes. Yeah, let's just take a quick look here. So we have the Beacon as the only vanilla Minecraft recipe, and on the Eldrich Altar, which is a tier 4 thing. In tier 5, we can craft our chest plates for every single faction. It requires, oh, they have names now. That's fancy. But yeah, every single faction has to have at least 2 Nether Stars in order to get that final tier enchantment. And we also have the Major Mana Gem, which requires a bunch of this stuff. We also have the Beheading 5, as well as a few other things. Oh, the Spectral Elytra is something I am actually going to be crafting at some point, so that's pretty important. Yeah, we see like Looting 3 is in there, the Horns, Beheading 4 also requires it, the Arcane Crown, although that's not our faction, the Mending enchantment requires one of those, and the Heckfire Staff, although that's not a faction item for our faction, so, you know, that's not something we're going to need. But, yeah, essentially, we're going to be needing a lot of Nether Stars, so I figured I might as well get started in obtaining them. It's a little bit of work between episodes to obtain them as needed. And actually, the next thing I want to show you guys, it will actually require me to pick up my Book of Rote. So currently in the Book of Rote, I have made the Blink become Rote, as well as Projectile. So I'm just going to pick this spell up, and I'm going to now equip my Ring of the Enderman. And this apparently is what the Ring of the Enderman does. If it targets somebody else, I'm going to shoot a projectile out there, and it couldn't find a place to blink forward to, so I guess I'll shoot the floor. And now it will teleport me even further. So that is what this is supposed to do. If you hit a location that's valid. Yeah, so that is what the Ring of the Enderman is supposed to do. I'm quite happy that I was able to figure that out. So, yeah, if you want to actually make use of the Ring of the Enderman, unlike what I've been doing, you will want to have some sort of spell involving other people, such as a touch spell and whatnot, and then it will have increased power, assuming that you are having the ring equipped. So I'm just gonna wear something else. So this actually does make the Ring of the Enderman significantly better than like the base blink spell, which this one's just a self blink, and it's not impacted by the Ring of the Enderman, which means that its range is normal. But if you were to have, say, the projectile one, it would go twice as far, which is, I'd say, the main benefit. But, you know, I personally am a bit of a fan of just not needing to create another spell. But when I do gain access to a bit more of the Eldrich energy of that type, I will definitely create that spell as a scroll. So then I don't have to, you know, like, teleport just 16 blocks at a time, which while 16 blocks is quite far, it's not quite, like, the sheer amount of distance that can be done with the other one. And if you guys are wondering about the tower, I did not really have time to work on that between, like, things, because a lot of stuff has been going on in real life, and so I just was like, okay. So I didn't have time to continue working on the tower, but I will have a, I have made a lot of normal progress. And speaking of other forms of progression, I did make another spell. So this would be the summon components. This is the form of the spell that I put in here. It is a summon felled oak. So, it's just the summon component, as well as I chose felled oak because it's a fairly cheap component. It just has like 2 axes, which, you know, that's extremely cheap. And the main reason why I did that is because the way that the summon component works is that when you summon the thing, it will have whatever effect that you have on it, such as damage, apply to the summoned creature instead of onto, say, the thing your creature is attacking. Well, during my last playthrough, I put a damage component on my summon spell, so I didn't really use it, just because it kind of, you know, just always killed them. Well, it didn't kill the spiders, but it hurt them an awful lot, that they were significantly less useful than they should have been. So that is one thing to be mindful of. And so while I'm talking about that, I should probably talk about how the spell itself is used. Yeah, so the way that this spell works is that you'll have to take a crystal phylactery crafted like this. This is a mullet vendor. Oh, see this creeper? He's trying to attack me, but my Eldrich orb is keeping him away. And that actually is significantly further than it was before, so I know that the knockback effect is working. As you can see, it's draining 1 charge from my mana gem every time it shoots, but it only does half a heart of damage, so, you know, it's not a lot, but it can eventually kill something. Either way, the summon spell, I have it selected right now, so the way that it works is that after you craft a crystal phylactery, you are going to have to kill a creature while holding it. So if I were to, with this empty one that I have here, if I were to kill the villager while holding it, the crystal phylactery will be attuned to villagers. And what do you have, my good sir? Oh, bone feather. Oh, healing poultice. I actually have been needing those. And in case you guys are wondering, yes, it is extremely important that I get this healing poultice, because I want to, at some point, create a beneficial version of the summon spell where it heals the creatures I summon. instead of just nothing. Because, you know, I want it to be an effective spell. And for those of you who are wondering, why didn't I do that? Well, it's because, if we check the complexity, the Summon Bind Wounds combination has 70 complexity, and I only have access to 60 complexity, so I had to just choose something that was simple. Like, I could have done Activate, but then I would have had to use a Greater Mystic Focus, so that's why I chose Felled Oak. Just was cheap. By the way, I was talking about the Crystal Phylactery. So these things, when you kill a creature while you have it in your hand, it will attune to that type of creature. And then after you kill 50 of those creatures, it will just say Essence of whatever creature it is, 50 out of 50. Then you hold that in your offhand while you summon the creature, and it will summon a Wither Skeleton, in this case, that has the Reaper's Gaze effect. When the effect wears off, the creature will die. So, if you apply the duration component to this, it will make it so that your skeletons, well, in my case, skeletons, if you summon like an army of cats, that they will last longer. And you can only have at most 2 creatures summoned at a time. If I were to summon a third, as you can see, the first one will die. So this will just refresh the timer, and if one of them's like taking damage, just replaces them. And now I've got 2 little bodyguards that will follow me around, except they will be obliterated by the Iron Golems, and they will not attack the Iron Golems first, so it's actually going to be quite sad. But yeah, these guys are just little bodyguards, but you can't really make them sit and stuff. They just follow you around until when the Reaper's Gaze effect wears off. You guys will see that they will just keel over and die. And they will never drop anything. I know, because I've tried. I thought it'd be a really easy way to get infinite Wither Skeleton Skulls. Just, you know, try to summon in a skeleton and then kill them. And I believe it is actually possible to summon Iron Golems. The problem being that you'd have to kill 50 of them, because you can't store them in a crystalline cage. Which is actually the next thing I am going to be covering. So as I mentioned, the Crystal Phylactery, you need to kill 50 of the mob. However, Mithron understands that 50 killings of a creature can be quite annoying to do. One instance where I'd see of this would be the Piglin Brutes. If you want to summon those, you're not going to find 50 Piglin Brutes. So there is a ritual, actually. It is called the Ritual of the Shadow Soul. So you capture a creature using a diamond in the crystallized component, and then you can actually do this ritual, and it will take whatever creature is in the crystalline cage and use it to fill up the Crystal Phylactery. This ritual requires a crystalline cage. I have not tested it yet, actually, so I don't know if it is consumed, as well as 2 resonating lumps, and the resonating lumps are crafted like this. You guys have no idea how long it took me to find the glow ink sacks and the glow berries for this. It was such a pain, but once I was able to get them, I, now have them. And I'm actually going to draw out this ritual in one moment. I say in one moment because there actually is a second use for the resonating lump. That being, you can put them in the arcane furnace, which I guess is what the JEI refers to as rune forges. And you will get resonating dust, and that resonating dust can be turned into ender pearls, which is awesome. So this actually is a potential way to get a bunch of ender pearls if you have access to these materials plenteously, which I assume that if you do have access to a convenient cave, I'd say the most annoying part would be getting the gold berries and ink sacks. You absolutely could just use that to get a bunch of ender pearls. By the way, so here is the ritual drawn out. You can see a little bit more clearly. I don't think I have to show you. You guys have the book as well. So resonating dust. In this case, it is a blaze in the crystalline cage, as well as my motes, which I have stored in my bag here. You need a mote of earth and a mote of water, as well as your empty Crystal Phylactery. Actually, if I right-click here, it puts in my full one. That is not good. You want to make sure you want to put in the empty one, because honestly, I assume that it will just override whatever you currently have in there, which is not what I want. Oh my gosh, wait, what? Okay, I'm gonna... Wait, hold up. What just happened? Okay, so the blaze got freed. Wait. Oh my gosh, it only partially filled the crystal phylactery. That's kind of annoying, actually, but I guess you guys can now see what it looks like when they're only partially full. So yeah, that's really interesting. Yeah, so I guess that it consumed the diamond, which is annoying, but, you know, it's fine. I've got over a stack of them. So, okay, I guess that it only fills it up some of the way. So that means that if I want to fill it up the rest of the way, I'd have to capture more blazes, but I also have access to a blaze spawner fairly easily. So I'll just kill the blazes until this is filled up at a later point. But yeah, that's the ritual of the Shadow Soul. Apparently what it does is that it will free the creature and partly fill up your crystal phylactery. Oh, and actually one funny thing, I have this music disc in my inventory to remind me. Yeah, so I have this crystal phylactery with wither skeletons, and it turns out that if they kill creepers, the creepers will drop music discs. It's just such a weird thing. I don't know if that's a normal thing in vanilla Minecraft, that when wither skeletons kill creepers, they drop music discs, but it's just like, huh, that is easy access, just a bunch of music discs, which I think is awesome. And I actually did find one of these between episodes, the Wand of Cloning. It is actually an incredibly useful item. You see, it has one simple use, and that use is that the wand clones itself. Now you guys may say, this is a terrible idea. However, this wand only has one charge, which means it breaks after you use it. So after you right-click here, the wand will break entirely. As you can see, there are these little lines, and then boom, get a new Wand of Cloning. So it's the Wand of Cloning. So the wand clones itself. And you see, I'm going to just demonstrate its abilities one more time. You right-click. It's going to sparkle a little bit. It's going to create a new Wand of Cloning. So this is a single-use wand. It will break after you use it. But after it's done being used, it will clone itself. I'm pretty sure this is meant to be a joke item. So I'm just going to toss it in my chest. Maybe I'll put it on a frame later or something. You can only find them in chests, which I honestly feel like you should be able to craft them, maybe, because it seems like such a silly item. But yeah, that's the Wand of Cloning. I was asked in a comment what it does, and I did figure out what it does. I thought that it found your spawn point, but it turns out it's just the Wand of Cloning. It clones itself. However, that is all the time that I have for today, guys. I thank you guys for watching ever so much. If you want to learn more about Mana and Artifice, feel free to like and subscribe. I am going to be covering a bit more of in a tutorial-esque style instead of the more solo playthrough type of thing that I've been doing, because I've been noticing my videos where it's more guides of how various things work, such as the rituals work, that they've been performing better than my normal videos. So I figure I probably could just, well, first of all, summon wither skeletons instead of dealing with these guys myself. Just, oh, have at them, bodyguards! Yes. Yes. By the way, just, you know, I'm gonna try to do a little bit more of a tutorial-esque style, because those videos are the ones of mine that have been doing better. Probably because people honestly care a little bit more about that type of thing, which absolutely makes sense. But yeah, either way, guys, that is all the time that I have for today, and I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you have any other questions about the content that I covered, such as, one thing I actually am realizing I forgot now, you can't increase the number of creatures you can summon. It's increasing the magnitude. That's the thing that you unlock in Tier 4, though. So, you know, best of luck with that. By the way, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video, and I will be seeing you guys around. Have a good day.